good morning, guys. Here we are again for Skate Tabi. We have a special guest for today, all the way down from Europe, man, Budapest, representing Matt.
Hi, Wax.
Good
Hi,
morning.
everybody.
Good morning,
Cheers.
Matt.
Hi, Mom.
You're on TV, man.
Yeah, first time ever.
First question: when did you arrive in the Philippines, man?
Immigration?
Immigration.
It's like almost a year ago. Next week. It's gonna be a year ago.
Oh, you've been
Yeah.
here for a long time
But
already,
in,
bro.
in Talisay only since May.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. How do you find it so far, like the skateboarding scene and everything?
Also, skateboarding is awesome. Really, I've been lucky as well that this park opened, and then also the one in Ormog, and then soon, maybe next month, I'm checking out the one in Maasin.
That's one new skate and cool skate park, bro. Did you see the obstacles?
Oh,
The
and
perfect-
also in Siargao, they have the
Siargao, yeah. That's also
So
pretty
so
awesome
many
skate
things
park.
to see.
Marajao, Siargao, and our friends out there.
Yeah, hope to get to know you soon.
Now, Matt, tell me more about yourself. When did you start skateboarding, and what's the reason why you started skateboarding?
I think I'm part of the big generation back home who were influenced by the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game.
Just like everybody else, man. Is it?
It's early 2000s. For me, it was, I know the exact date. It's 21st of September 2001.
Is it Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 or is it Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2?
That's a good question. I think I played I was not playing the PlayStation one. I was playing it on PC. And it was a high school classmate of mine who first skated, and then we were like besties.
Yeah.
So I tried his skateboard, and it was kind of a love affair from the get-go.
Nice. So this is back in Budapest, right?
Yeah, that's my home ground, and I skated there until like late 2000s.
Late 2000s. Tell me more about this. This is in high school. You were in high school back then,
I'm
right?
just in high school. I was at the same time I started skateboarding. I went to a new school, and everything was like happening. It was just quite amazing because I think from the same class, 4 or 5 kids were skating.
Oh, nice.
So that was a scene already just in one room. I'm from like the outskirts of town. We had some pretty cool spots. Like we used to go inside schoolyards.
Yeah.
The classic kind of like you see in the Los Angeles videos. They hop the fences.
Yeah, classic skateboarder.
And put some tables around. What we did is, that was actually, I think it was a kindergarten.
Yeah.
They had some metal beds for the kids to do their afternoon nap.
Oh.
And we actually stole them.
And you made them obstacles.
And we bring it like a few kilometers away to the high school where they had the better flat ground and all. And we put those, it's like just like a meter long, but you could learn all the like basic slides, board slides, 50-50s on that. And,
That's cool.
And then the whole summer we were there. And then the street spots, like more in the center, were pretty good too, although we got kicked out so many times.
So the police were strict in Budapest also.
It's not only the police. It's just like people who are walking by, who are living above the spots. Like they would pour some water on us just to go away, and then we still go back because we really want to like land that one trick.
Yeah.
So we had to be a bit street smart because like I was pointed an iPad and.
That's bad, bro.
But
sounds like the Philippines, man.
No, like you've been to my country, so you know how it is. The public safety was not as good back then because like it was a bit wild, but freer in a sense. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that sounds adventure, man. Just like the classic core of skateboarding, like being chased out by the police, civilians, and everybody.
Also, the different cliques in skateboarding. Because some guys were following like more the hip hop, the fresh style, and the others very hash and the rock and roll.
Yeah.
And some guys didn't fit quite into these cliques, and it's you have to get some street credit when you first went to a spot, and then once you get accepted, it's all good.
So this is early 2000, right?
Yeah, right.
So I'm pretty sure this scene right here is either hip hop influenced by shorties, all of those stuff, or flip. Or you guys get influenced by the
Black
Label guys,
Zero and all that.
Zero, yeah.
Yeah, but both, pretty much all companies back then, they were having skaters on their teams. We were jumping down on big stuff.
Yeah.
And like Ali Boulala, oh my God, like when that video came out, Flip Sorry, we just wanted to like go high as well. Like, oh, let's try our limits. And it sometimes did hurt. Sometimes we landed the tricks, but it was a bit different.
Yeah. When I was there last year in Budapest, they have beautiful skate parks, brats. I tell you. Shout out to my sister and her husband, Matt. How are you guys? So, Budapest, one of the most beautiful skate parks I have been to, especially right down the one at the cathedral. Was it I forgot the name of the church.
Near Saint Stephen Cathedral.
That's it. With a Ferris wheel. Was
Oh
that
yeah,
it?
yeah. This is actually called the DAC Fair and Square.
Yeah.
And that used to be, before they built the park, they had a very interesting design. Like, they had banks. It really seemed like a design for skateboarding, but it was just some architectural style.
Oh.
And now it's not there anymore. They changed some things there, but then eventually they built a skate park. And the one you saw, it's not the first form. The first form was purely street, no transition at all.
Oh, nice.
But this new one is awesome too.
That was supposed to be my next question, because I've seen there most of the parks that are in there are mostly transitions. So the one that you're describing to me, the one you grew up on, are more street skateboarding. Was it all the skate parks like that back then, like more street?
Yeah,
less
well,
transitions?
yeah. Well, we had two types. Some of the indoor parks, they were more focused on transitions and mini ramps, and we even had a vert ramp, because usually those ramps were made out of plywood.
Oh.
And plywood is best if you keep it indoors.
True.
For the rains and winter and the snow.
Wear and tear.
It's only of recent times, in like 2010 and onward, that people had a DIY scene, and they started to build transition just learning by themselves. And shout out to those guys, the DIY people. Yeah, much respect for that. So yeah, it's a whole different story, because the pool feel is different than a mini ramp. So I'm coming from the street, but then I skated mini ramps a lot, and I got to love them as much as I would skate street.
Yeah, I've also seen the DIY skate parks along the riverbanks. I saw a couple of them basically.
Oh, the riverbank, I think it's the one right next to the bridge, right?
Yeah, right next to the bridge.
It was 100% DIY. That's not a council project or anything. It was just the kids started to build, and at some point the people from the city, they said like, "What are you guys doing here?" And they had to reason out like, "Look, we're adding value to the whole square there.
Yeah.
Nothing much is going on anyway. People just pass by." And then they kind of like approved it, and they just said, "Okay, kids, you can have it."
That's a beautiful skate park also, and I've noticed there's a lot of beautiful graffitis on there, man. Like top-notch quality graffitis. Like it's been well thought of. Like if you would look at it, if you would look it up, they have beautiful graffitis in Budapest. Is it the skateboarders doing that, or is it like different artists?
Oh yeah, we used to have this magazine back in the day, like 90s and early 2000s, offline, and it's kind of like put all the extreme sports together, like BMX, skateboarding, inline. Inline was big back then, and also the hip hop culture plus graffiti.
Yeah.
So there was a big overlap of like some skateboarder friends of mine, they were doing, and they were even painting trains. So yeah, I never really got into graffiti. I was like the guitar guy,
More
bass
metal
guy. Yeah.
It was beautiful graffitis, I tell you. So on this scene, back then, early 2000, tell me more about Matt. What are your top 5 favorite skateboard videos and your top 5 favorite musicians?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Top 5 from that period specifically. A flip story that I mentioned already.
Yeah.
I wouldn't point out one video, but the whole 411, the
411 video
magazine, because it was just so iconic, and you could like, it was like a diary of like where skateboarding is at that moment. And then Girl, Yeah Right, it was just like all of my favorites were there. Mark Johnson, Eric Austin, and so on. Really, really iconic part, and really great soundtrack too for that.
True.
Some smaller videos I also enjoyed, more obscure. What exactly? Oh yeah, Label Kills.
Yeah, old school black label.
Yeah, I love that. It's again, the soundtrack was perfect for that, and the editing and just something different.
It's pretty raw.
It's raw,
pretty raw.
And I don't know. There's something about the black label guys. So that's 3 or 4 already. And PG Let's Wonderful Horrible Life. Because it's just, and we had a TV channel called Extreme Channel, and they were showing some of the skate videos, sometimes dubbed in Hungarian, which is very weird.
Like 401 Video Magazine in Hungary.
No, 411, they didn't have a contract with the Extreme Channel, but like some of the think more on the indie video and some British videos.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we had skateboarding in Hungarian language coming from USA, or that was weird. Also,
That's pretty awesome.
I think sometimes they've done like contest coverage. So yeah, vert runs and X Games or whatnot. Yeah, that was interesting. And they also featured surf, so yeah, we could like see, okay, if we ever get to the ocean, this is what we could also do.
But there's no surfing in Budapest, though. I didn't see any.
We have like some lakes, and they do wakeboarding there.
Yeah.
That seems to be catching up more. With music from the 2000s, like shout out to Tool.
Tool, yeah, man.
I love them a lot.
Favorite album from that?
I would say for me it's Lateralus.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Classic.
probably the whole
Yeah.
period as well, 2001-ish. What else with music? And that period, especially growing up as a kid, I was into like the classics as well. Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath,
Yeah, man.
Metallica, a lot.
Nice.
We were in bands as well with high school friends and covering those songs, Motorhead, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC,
Pretty
Nirvana, and so on.
Yeah.
It was just everything was new, you know. Like those bands been out a while.
Yeah.
We also were into the upcoming ones, and yeah, there were a lot of gigs happening back home, and really not expensive. Free gigs as well, and each day of the week you could catch something if they let us in, because we were still small.
So there were a lot of concerts back then.
Oh yeah, even now it's just
Local, mostly local playing.
local as well, and we have a really huge music festival back home called Sziget.
I've never. I want to see that.
It's on an island.
Yeah.
So the whole island turns into the party ground, and I was going there from really early, from 2001 until 2009.
Yeah.
I've seen their Tool, Fate No More.
Oh, man.
Iggy Pop.
Iggy Pop, yeah,
Iggy Pop
that's
was
classic,
genius.
man.
He was genius. It
Yeah.
was that time he was 60 years old. He stage dived.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Crowd surf.
Yeah, at 60. Yeah, genius, really. Robert Plant and a lot of like, you know, all the metal bands, Saxon, Iron Maiden as well. I've seen there.
Saxon, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're classic.
Yeah,
like European
British,
metal.
yeah, British heavy metal. It is.
Yeah.
A lot of legends I've seen, and I was lucky enough that I also got free tickets sometime.
Yeah.
And once we like hopped in, kind of like hiding from the security guards, and just were there for 2 days, just not going home, sleeping somewhere in the bushes.
It's like Woodstock, but in
Yeah,
Budapest.
pretty much, and especially back then, the music scene was more diverse with the festivals.
Yeah.
They were more even like inviting experimental acts. Yeah, like I've seen there, I think the Prodigy, Fateless,
Prodigy, man.
a lot of like dance acts as well that I was not super into, but I happened to be at the festival, so why not
You
check
have
it
to watch
out?
them, yeah.
Yeah.
How many stages was it?
The main ones maybe around 10, and then
That's a lot
smaller.
of stages, man.
We have like 100,000 people there.
Whoa.
In one day right now. I think it's grown to be that big. And 2021 I went back again after like a long hiatus.
Yeah.
And the feeling is still there. So I think the management is doing something well. You can complain about the artists, maybe you just don't know them, but just go there and have fun. So anyone going to Hungary or Sziget, you must check it out in summer. Just save up for that. Now it's super expensive.
We're gonna link it in the comments. We're gonna definitely check it out, man. Like that's. I haven't heard of that, Matt. You didn't tell me about that festival. You should tell me about
if
that.
you're more into rock music or like the darker stuff, there's Feketezoy. It's up in the woods, and I think next to a lake usually.
Whoa.
It's a smaller festival, maybe less than 5,000 people, and that's more on like rock music, but especially like industrial noise and
Nice.
metal, a lot of that kind of stuff.
Because what I've noticed in Europe, like if you speaking of Saxon, if you have seen the new music video from them collaborating with Amon Amarth, like the Viking metal from Finland, or Swedish Viking metal, Amon Amarth. They
Amon Amarth,
collaborate,
yeah, they were huge back then, like in
They
2000.
just collaborated with Saxon, so
Oh,
it's
wow.
like Viking and Saxon. They were taking it back to like the older medieval years, so that was a cool music video. You
Nice,
guys
yeah.
should check it out. So yeah, Matt is into metal, basically from the 2000.
But
He was-
techno as well.
Techno.
Techno and jazz, classical music. I was kind of like a nerd about that.
Yeah.
Like, any music that, oh yeah, this is blues, this is whatever, just learning the whole history.
So who taught you? Are you more of like the teach myself, guys, into music, or did somebody teach you how to play?
I went to a few lessons, just learning the basics, chords and some scales. But for the most part, I never learned like to read music officially. Just like going with the feeling and improvising a lot. But I'm not a good guitarist by any means. I just love to do it.
Are your videos in YouTube or
nah.
MySpace?
Actually, I'm one of those guys who never had MySpace. It wasn't such a big MySpace was big for like certain people who were into different scenes, like the emo or what is that? Hardcore music at certain genres, but we had different social media that was bigger for like all the rest of the people.
For younger folks out there, MySpace was the back then. Like it was like
before Facebook,
Facebook.
before even what was before Facebook. So MySpace was the 2000s Facebook.
So you can upload your music in there, your own personal music and stuff. You can make a playlist out of it
and customize your profile in a very interesting way.
Very interesting. And I was once part of that scene. Like I was one of those MySpace. They call them MySpace artists. Basically, I make my own music and people pay me to make them beats and stuff like that. So it was cool. It was a fun.
You still have those tracks, right?
I deleted some of them, or I misplaced them. It was on my very old computer, so I don't have them anymore. Now, back to you, Matt. Early 2000, we already talked about the type of music that we were into. You were also musicians, because most skateboarders are into
some kind of art or music. Or drawing. I don't know how to do that, but like here as well, some guys do tattoos. And whatnot.
That's the thing about that, because they say skateboarders have ADHD undiagnosed, basically. So we already talked about that, Matt. Now tell me more about your skateboarding back then. Like, how was Matt's style back in early 2000?
I wish I had like more footage, but the earliest I've got like it's 2003, 4.
Yeah.
We were shooting it in some cameras that had like a limited video capacity, so you could only shoot like 30 seconds at a time. I think I was too young to really skate like someone else and really copy him. But we were just copying the tricks and trying to go faster and jumping bigger. But something I had early on is a love for old school videos from 80s and 90s.
80s and 90s.
Because this is the time before YouTube was out. So I think it was video.google.com where you could upload like long videos. And some guy uploaded most of the old and obscure videos from like New Deal. And
New Deal is not that old, man.
No, I mean like they had the first reincarnation was like in 90s, early 90s, and then they had all those weird tricks like late flips and so I thought like maybe at that time people thought it's like really wacky, but I thought okay, one day I want to learn those.
That's why I see a lot of pressure flips and late flips. Yeah, that's an
but late flips I still don't really do, but it's coming. It's coming
back. So early 2000, you were more of a flip trick guy, technical guy, basically. You
that guy, yes.
Favorite trick back then?
Favorite trick? I think nollie flips. Just also because we had a lot of flat ground. So early on, we tried to learn every single trick out there, just what is possible on flat. So I learned the switch flips and nollie flips, nollie heel flips, nollie big spin heel. I love those. And then at the same time, I was doing no complies.
Nice, because I can see you doing a lot of nose bonks and pressure flips, and then a lot of shove-its, man. And a lot of switch flips. So so pretty much that's the way how you skated before is still the same way you skated now.
I was just sometimes if I was fixated on something like jumping down some stairs, like okay, let's try to switch frontside flip down this gap, and then I would try it and just like go for it and hurt myself a bit. Because the thrill is awesome. Like once you roll away. And we skated everything back then, so I really like the spines. Something you rarely see in skate parks. So I like to do like a nollie blunt, shove it, or
that's difficult to use, man. Like here in the Philippines, we're just starting out basically with transitions and stuff like that. So if you're talking about the spine, nobody. I only see like a couple of people, or can only name a few people in my fingers that know how to use that. But yeah, spines are difficult to do. No, tell me more, Matt. Your street skateboarding scene. Do you usually skate at a public public parks or government buildings, stuff like that? Public ledges.
Yeah, we
company
had
owned ledges.
we had a few famous squares
Yeah.
all over the city, and they were known to always have some skateboarders.
Uh-huh.
So whenever we went there, you will see someone, and you can like make new friends, or like talk at least, or just like chill there if you were not really.
Somebody's playing a drone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we did sometimes is start out in one of the bigger spots,
Yeah.
kind of as a warm up, and then take the public transportation, or sometimes just roll if it was nearby,
Yeah.
and hit spots one by one, and have like a 6-hour session, or a longer one on a Saturday or a Sunday. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Every now and then we would skate the yard of my high school, but there was nothing much to skate there. It's like if
Flat
somebody brought a skateboard, it's just everybody wanted to try who didn't skate or used to skate at some point. Yeah, because like even people who didn't skate, it's like skateboarding fashion was bigger than skateboarding itself, I believe,
Oh, okay.
in that period. So you would see those chunky shoes and the baggy pants on the hip hop guys, also
Yeah.
on the ravers, the new metal
Yeah.
kids, and so on.
Yeah. So, because skateboarding fashion is really that interesting to other guys, like new metal guys, basically, as what mentioned.
Yeah, because Limp Bizkit was wearing it. Osiris
he was a
D.
skateboarder.
Was he?
He was. Fred Durst was a
Yeah,
skateboarder.
right. So yeah, it just takes one famous person, and then everybody will do the
Well,
same.
True. That's so true. No, talking back about like the obstacles that you're putting up in public spots, like out here in the Philippines, like back
You
in early
guys used to do that a
2000,
lot,
yeah,
right?
We used to do that, and I learned, believe it or not, I learned how to weld because of that. I welded rails. I did this was back then, bro. People would a lot of skateboarders back then will also attest to that. I weld the rails. I make the obstacles for platforms and everything. I learned that because I want to build obstacles for skateboarding.
That's really cool.
Is it like
that's
that
awesome.
in your scene also?
Yeah, like some people, they also welded mini rails.
Yeah.
And you know what happened? Like sometimes we even found rails that we thought like this is perfect for skateboarding, and whoever left it here. So we were like, okay, sorry, we're just gonna take it.
Yeah.
And because like if someone else takes it, it might goes into the scrap metal.
True. They
And
might take it, yeah.
we also just left it there, tried to hide in a schoolyard, and sometime it was stolen. But yeah, it's important, because if you do this, like you will learn a lot of new tricks that you
True.
wouldn't otherwise,
Yes.
unless that thing is out there and available on the street. But maybe it's available, security is gonna kick you out, so it's like not having it. So we were doing like pellets. It's like kind of wood used in warehouses. You put like 4 of them together, stack it up,
Stack them,
and
yeah.
put some like railing, like a metal edge on it,
Yeah.
and then something on the top. So you have already a mani pad and a ledge to learn the basic grinds and slides.
Yeah. I've seen it. Is it basically like
Yeah,
Junk-
like
junk materials?
what is that?
Is it like junk wood? that
It's
you-
not really junk food. It's that kind of pellet that people use for warehouses to stack some stock on it.
Oh yeah, I
The-
saw
the
that, like
classic
the
one.
pallet where you put in the forklift and lift
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
That's it, a wooden pallet. Yeah.
And yeah, if you place a few together, it will have the ideal size.
Yeah, I get you.
It's
I
like
get
a what is that, rectangle
yeah.
shape?
And you put like plywood on top so you can do manuals and stuff.
That's
on
it,
top
that's
of that
it.
thing. Yeah.
And then make sure that whatever you use is the glue or the screws are like right in, because sometimes I ended up
some screws.
having a screw sticking out of my nose,
Uh,
not my nose, but the nose of the skateboard.
Speaking of that, bro, like injuries. What was the worst that you got? More gnarliest worst you got, man?
In early 2000s, the first big injury I've had around 2003 or 4, I hit my head. I'm not sure if it was the ground or the ledge, but it knocked me unconscious. And my ear got split apart, so they had to stitch it together. I had to go to the ambulance, and yeah, it was horrible. Like I think I had a concussion. That's from back then, and then more recently, 2019-ish, I broke my ankle. The trick I was trying was pretty cool. It's a nose mani, nollie flip to firecracker.
Whoa!
Like down some stairs, and
How many stairs are we talking about?
just
man?
4.
Just that's still gnarly.
But yeah, that's a trick.
Is it like from a ledge you kick flip?
No, it's just like I'm just going in. Like there's a top,
Yeah.
like a top platform. I'm nose manualing down there, and then once you have the stairs, and it's an nollie flip firecracker into that.
Oh, that's gnarly,
So yeah, somehow I broke my ankle, and that time I was living in Vietnam. I went back to Europe, and this happened on the first day.
In Europe.
Yeah.
In Budapest.
Just like pretty much first session after the airport, and yeah, I was really good back then. So no, don't want to claim it, but like that was probably the peak of my skateboarding.
Prime
Yeah.
years. You're still at your prime, bro.
I'm just I'm bringing these out again because you guys inspire me, and everything is together now. The weather is fine, and yeah, I have to drive. It's really good here.
Yeah. You're like, that is what is up with skateboarding. Like other people motivates you how you skate also. Like they hype you up. Like it's like in a skateboarding turn. Every skateboarder hypes every other skateboarder.
That's very true because in like during the late 2000s, a lot of my high school friends they stopped skateboarding,
Yeah.
and I had less and less closer friends to skate with. So and then in certain places where I was new and skate park was far out, or sometimes even the fact that like it was in Britain, I really like skateboarding there, but I could feel that the local skaters are not as open, not as welcoming.
Yeah.
They will respect you and all, but it's not like establishing friendship is easily. It takes a while.
No, speaking of that, man, like if you have a Euro citizenship, we've got a Schengen visa before. So what I'm talking about in December, we went on a family trip, Euro trip, with my family. You can go anywhere as long as it's Schengen verified. Have you tried skating every other country using your Schengen citizenship or Europe citizenship?
It's the European Union passport we have. Actually, that's around my time. I was still new to skateboarding. In 2004, my country joined the EU, and it got much easier to visit anywhere else, basically. So I've lived in Barcelona, the capital of skateboarding in Europe.
Mecca.
Yeah, I was there for 2 years. And interestingly enough, during that time, I wasn't skating all that much.
Oh.
Seriously, it's more like skateboarding to go to work and just like a few sessions. But I don't know how, but I haven't filmed almost anything while living in Spain. It's just weird.
Speaking of that, let me just ask you: Did you skate Macba?
Yeah, it was like walking distance from my house.
Oh, you do. Did you skate the famous ledge? And what stuff did you do there?
By the way, like next to Magba, you have a whole bunch of spots that are famous. So it's kind of like Magba is just one of those spots. It's more spacious, it's more famous, but I actually preferred Universitat. It has those long black granite ledges.
Yeah.
Also in a whole bunch of videos. I really love to skate there instead, and a lot of times at night. Yeah, even like early mornings, so it is beautiful. And in Spain, they're not gonna kick you out.
Yeah.
Maybe if in some like small alleyways, if you skate really late at night, they might shout at you to go elsewhere. But basically, it's been part of their culture since like the 70s, and they appreciate it. They look at it the same way as someone plays football.
Oh.
Just like a different kind of mechanism to it.
I wish that happens in the Philippines. Like, make skateboarding like football.
Well,
basketball here in the Philippines,
because football is not really.
Also not very.
I'm here since a year, and only one time I saw people playing football, and I'm like, wow, it's like crazy. This is the first country like that. Because anywhere else I traveled, it was always football number one, and finally some place where people are open to something else.
We play a lot of football back in high school. So
Did you?
Yeah, I play a lot of football.
What was that?
In Don Bosco. It's my high school.
Ah.
We were the number one football team back then in high school. Don Bosco.
All right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's not that big. So we're gonna please make skateboarding as big as basketball in the Philippines. That's what we wish for.
Yeah, the coolness factor is there. Like
Yeah.
I've already seen in Philippines a lot of companies using skateboarding for advertising. Like the Choco whatever product and some girls skating there in a very weird, awkward position. So
Not that, man. Not that. No, definitely not.
but it's still, it means that it's visible enough for people to think like, oh, okay, skateboarding is cool. It's considered cool.
But I don't want skateboarding to be represented that way. We old schools don't want that.
Of course, I know what you mean.
We like the core of skateboarding.
Yeah, and back to, for a few words, back to like skating elsewhere. In my region, the biggest event was in Prague.
Yeah.
Mystic Cup. I was there in 2007.
Mystic Cup.
Yeah, it's a huge competition. A lot of international pros were there. I've seen Bastian Salabanzi were there. Really young Luan Oliveira. Jake Phelps, I've seen him, still alive. Tony Trillo.
Rest in peace, Jake Phelps.
Yeah, a whole bunch of pros like Caspar Berry, Javier Sarmiento, and David Gravett. He was there before he got famous. I remember him doing a pole jam blunt fakie last seconds of a best trick contest.
Wow.
Amazing.
David Gravett rides for Creature Skateboards now, right?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. He's also like a outdoor skateboarding guy now. Like he fishes a lot and does his skateboarding.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
He's genuine, OG.
Yeah, what's the name of that event again?
Mystic Cup. I think it's still happening. It's not as big as it used to be in the 2000s, but anyway, that was just a few days. The whole trip lasted around the weekend. We were skating the famous Stalin Plaza, which has like the best view of the city and a huge spot. Like, and that's the thing. Mostly what you have there is skateboarders because it's kind of like not so central. Takes a bit of effort to get there and so much space. And yeah, it's the level there is crazy. It's kind of like the quality of the flat ground and the ledges is pretty much the same as Magba.
Wow.
Yeah, and some people just went there for skate trips to like get better. And I remember I filmed a few tricks there which I never ever done before or ever since.
We should plug that on this episode, man. Do you still have a copy of that?
I think I might have one clip. Yeah.
We're definitely gonna plug it in along the clips around here in the episode. Yeah. Most definitely. So I haven't heard of Prague being like a skateboarding.
It is good. It's very similar culturally to Budapest, so I felt very comfortable being there. Again, Vienna has a lot of parks and street spots. We went
Vienna.
Yeah, Vienna also.
When we went there in Vienna, it's just mostly industrial, man. I didn't see any skateboarders.
Yeah, you have to know. You have to know like where to because it's a spacious area as well. As I said, I've skated England down in Brighton and Bristol as well. The level part. We were living by the beach and that was awesome. Like along the sea, we had a bunch of spots. You could just do this spot hopping. By the coastline. I really loved that era because we had a bunch of Hungarian skateboarders living there.
Yeah.
It just happened so that all of us got together there and I enjoyed that. That's like 2 years of my life or almost 2 years. And outside of Europe where I skated and I really enjoyed, of course, Philippines. We all know that, but I was there in Vietnam 3 years. Awesome. When I arrived there, 2018, in that city, Da Nang, it's like around 1 million people, only 50 people were skateboarding.
Oh, wow.
And when I left, a few years onwards, I think already like hundreds of people were skating.
They got influenced by you.
No, it's not that. It's just, I kind of witnessed the birth of like skateboarding or really the booming of the scene. And in India as well, I was there in 2015, 16, and there it's like really new. Everything was new. I was hanging out with the guys. Shout out the Holy Stoked guys. Hanging
Shout
out.
Your guys.
They founded the first Indian skateboarding company.
Oh, nice.
And they have a really nice vision. It's called 100 ramps.
Wow.
So as they're skating, they try to build 100 ramps around the whole country.
Around the whole country. That's
and sometimes even remote areas where people are less fortunate.
Yeah.
And they bring skateboarding there, freeboards and whatever they can do. And the media seemed to embrace them as well. Like they had some coverage. They even been featured in a Netflix film.
Wow.
Yeah.
You should check it out. What's the name? We should check it out.
The film is called Skater Girl.
Skater Girl. Okay. We'll
Yeah.
definitely. I think I've heard of that, bro.
It's like a few years back, and yeah, I was watching the film and oh yeah, those are my bros there, the Bangalore guys.
Definitely check it out. Skater Girl on Netflix. We're gonna definitely check it out. Now, Matt, you have a lot of great adventure stories of skateboarding all over the world, man. So is it safe to say, do you travel because of skateboarding?
It just goes hand in hand. My love for the travel, because I traveled certain places where it was not quite possible to skate because I was either not into it that much that time or nothing to skate, or I didn't meet skateboarders.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, when I arrive somewhere and I see skateboarders, it's already like, yeah, it's family. So I definitely know I would have someone to have my back and to show me around, make friendships easily. So that's all. It gives a whole different dimension to travel.
That's a cool thing about skateboarding. Once you know you're a skateboarder, you're already part of the crew.
Yeah, indeed.
Anywhere in the world, man. Like you go to a country, like when I was there in your country in Budapest, right there and there when they knew I was skateboarder, it's okay, man, go shoot, go skate. That's what we usually do, man. Like it's like, is it like that in all the countries that you go to also?
Mostly, yeah. In Europe, my biggest surprise was Macedonia. Now it's called North Macedonia, but
Yeah.
back then it was the name. And I went there that was not really skateboarding motivated. I went there because of the architecture they have. I'm really into that too, and I just wanted to shoot some nice photographs of the brutalist style there. They, in a nutshell, they had like an earthquake. In Europe it's very rare, but in the early 60s they had an earthquake and they had to rebuild half of the city.
Oh.
So they were doing it with a Japanese architect. Anyway, so I knew it was an interesting place. But then I got there and see, oh, there's a skateboarding scene and these guys are so cool. They really welcomed me, and yeah, I went back even another time to like hang out with them.
How was the scene in Macedonia? Is it big?
They're not the most fortunate country in Europe, so they had like the scarcity of getting boards in that period, like early 2000s. Parks were not there,
Yeah.
but by the time I arrived, they had at least one skate park, and because the town is a bit hilly, so they had some handrails. Some guys, they were hitting those, and bigger stairs.
Wow.
Like shout out to Ilin, I've seen him.
Shout out.
And it's the attitude, really. It's not about if they have a park or whatever, but they were really genuine and nice to be with.
Yes. Also, Matt, can you name all of the countries that you went to and skateboarded? And can you name me top 3 of the countries that you like to go back and go skateboarding?
Well, pretty much in all European countries I've been to, there is skateboarding. More or less, except one country where I stayed and I was staying there for 3 months and never seen anyone skating. It's Albania.
Albania.
So hopefully, Albanian guys, it's gonna happen for you anytime soon, or already. I don't know. It's been a while since I was there. I've skated some interesting places, like up in, I think it was Peru.
Peru.
I skated in, I think it's around 3,500 meters above sea level.
Wow.
So it's pretty high, and once you skate, you're not used to that level. You will be out of breath in no time.
I can imagine, man, the pressure. Like it's different from like when
Yeah.
you're above sea level and just.
Yeah, but South America, they have some awesome skateboarders. Like you had the Skater of the Year, David Gonzalez, and Milton Martinez.
Oh, nice.
Brazilians are also Thiago and all. So, but that time I didn't have a skateboard maybe. So whenever I would skate, I would just like join the local crew and ask for a board if I can try. And once they see I skate, they were shouting me some tricks like do this, do that, da, da, da. Really cute people. And
So yeah, top 3 countries that you went to. Top 3 of those that you love skateboarding.
oh yeah, I didn't answer the question. So
That's all right.
basically, without any order,
Yeah.
I would say India, Philippines, and Vietnam, because these are the places where I spend most time outside from Europe and skated a lot
Yeah.
as well.
So India, Philippines, and Vietnam.
It's Asian domination.
Asian domination. But in Europe, what are the top?
Spain, obviously,
Yeah.
it's just a dream come true to live there. And then back home, I should say, because that's where I'm from and all.
Yeah, of course, man.
Um,
Represent.
And then, Macedonia for that reason, since
Macedonia.
I have my buddies there.
So Macedonia scene, we should feature them also in this episode. You have clips on there?
Yeah, I can like link up something.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely put this in the episode. And Matt, how do you find or how do you differentiate? We're in the last few parts of the questions. How do you differentiate the skateboarding in Europe and skateboarding in Asia and the Philippines?
Where to begin with, like
we're talking about the culture.
yeah, it's obviously the volume is there, like a whole bunch of people, a lot more skate. In Europe is just it's been around for a longer while.
Yeah.
And maybe they have more like the older generation.
Yeah.
That not necessarily active in skateboarding, but they want to see their kids like you also do that, and that's awesome. I hope one day I also get there, and because more people skate, there's more money in circulation, and I think it's in a way it's easier to supply you some certain goods that might not be available in certain regions. But I would say the attitude is better here because people in their 30s here are a lot more ambitious and active in the skateboarding here. It's like I see these guys like hitting the handrail nearing 40 years old. It's yeah, it's
skate Titos every morning, man.
Yeah.
You represent.
And back home, if you see older people skating, they keep it really safe and maybe not in the best shape, but you know, any day can be a change. I also want to like start running more and swimming more to be able to skate better.
You're pretty strong for our ages, basically. You're just still pretty strong, man. I'm seeing you hit very difficult technical tricks, man. You still have very strong balance, strong ankle, good center of gravity. You keep it stylish still, man. Yeah, but yeah. I like
because
what
you know
said.
at certain point you might have all the knowledge in your head.
Yeah.
But the real obstacle is gonna be your body. You're not fit enough to perform that one trick, even though in your head you have all the moves.
That is so true. That's so true. What Matt said. Like there are a lot of skateboarders in here that were very good at their prime, bro. I tell you, I can show clips of it. But now they already have arthritis and gout because of that lifestyle. Like they drink a lot of beer, eat a lot of oily stuff,
Smoking and yeah, the list is endless.
Yeah, because
even bad sleeping and all that can influence.
But I tell you, just an advice from us, basically, if you get into your 30s, man, start cleaning your lifestyle. We're talking about your nutrition, your daily routine, the way you sleep, the way you rest, basically, and most definitely the stuff that you take.
Yeah, it's all those little things add up.
Yeah, it would take a toll on your body. You would say now if you're watching this and you're 10 to 25, you're still good. You feel like you're immortal.
Yeah, you can abuse your body. I used to like go out drinking, get drunk, and skate next day and still be fine and like film a clip or two.
Yeah. You feel like you're immortal, but when you reach your late 20s to your 30s to your 40s, that's where you take a toll on your body, man. I tell you. Just that's an advice from somebody who was 14 once as a skateboarder and would say that I would skate until 80. I'm immortal, but when I reach this age, man, it's all on the brain. Your brain tells you can still do this, but the body won't follow anymore. That's true what Matt said.
But like look at people like Devon Song, or Eric Coston. Yeah. They are almost 50 years old, but they do everything they can to skate well.
That is true. They hydrate, basically. I've seen like Eric Costin going into the gym for his strengthening program. He talks about hydration a lot and stretching before skateboarding. The same thing with Daewon Song, man. He looks very fit for his age.
Super fit.
I'm pretty sure he's going to a gym or something. He has a strengthening program.
He's not talking much about that, but it looks like
definitely.
It looks like he's got it. He's got the moves.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, last few questions, man. What are your goals as how do you call this? Tito skateboarder. What are your goals, man?
Perfect. The title. Well, I have a list of tricks written down in my notebook.
Yeah.
That I want to go through. Is just like mountains to climb.
Mountains to climb. Okay.
They are, and it's.
Can you name one of them?
Yeah, the flip backflip.
Flip backflip.
Yeah, it's been haunting me, but it's gonna happen. Maybe not today, maybe today.
Maybe in this episode. We never know, yeah? We never know.
All right, let's see.
Let's see. So yeah, parting words from you, Matt. Like, tell our viewers any advices, any shout outs to the people that you are close to you, basically, anywhere inside or outside of skateboarding.
Sure. Well, thank you for welcoming me here, Philippines, because that's really important to feel good somewhere whenever you start a new life, and that includes the skateboarders. Thanks, guys. Skate as much as possible. It's like you will see as you age that how good it is, really.
Right.
And now, since I've had this injury some 5 years ago with the ankle,
Right.
I didn't even know if I was gonna skate again at a higher level. And so yeah, I cannot take it for granted. And if you can, you have to everything. Just go out and do it.
Go out and do it.
Even if you just have a half an hour, just still go for it.
Just go out and do it.
And yeah, it's nice to see all the, I don't know whoever is involved, but all these skate parks popping up. And if you guys have DIY ideas, just a small amount of land in your backyard, and you build there a quarter pipe is already a spot. You don't have to go that far.
You're right. So yeah, that's about it. We're gonna see how Matt skates. Is gonna throw in some bangers also on this episode. And Matt, thank you for
faking it.
and thank you for the opportunity to know you more. Basically, a backpacker skateboarder, globetrotting all around the world, just skateboarding and living the most of his life. Thank you so much, bro.
Cheers, brother.
This episode, Brads, is partner sponsored by one of our good friends from Chasing Landscapes.
So, Chasing Landscapes, we offer photo and video aerial services. Tara, lupad!
Nice ka, Brads. Let's go.
Tabi!